Alright guys, doing a video journal. It's very, feel very vulnerable doing this. You know, talking about my experience. Because actually, this is something that I find very difficult in life, is to share my experience, to share my thoughts and feelings with people out of the fear of judgment, the fear of rejection. You know, this is a common thing with a lot of people, I think. People don't speak the truth, their own truth, because they're afraid. You know, the things that society rejects or represses. And then you got, you know, the individual who has some thoughts that they know that society would reject, so they find it hard to speak out. So yeah. So basically, yeah, I feel very fucking vulnerable doing this at this spot where I'm at, you know, because there are a lot of people, not a lot of people, but sometimes there are people who walk past here, and you know, if that would happen, if I just spot a person, you know, I go into this instant sort of fear mode where it's like, oh shit, like I'm not doing the socially normal thing. And yeah, it's a shame that this happens. It's frustrating. But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to make a video, talk about where I'm at, talk about my experience. It's interesting. Everyone's experience is interesting, because we're all unique. We've all got unique experiences. What is the same is the awareness that is experiencing the life, the experiencer. That's the same within all of us. But the content of what we experience, the content of the mind, of how we perceive things, is different and always unique. And I think it's always, you know, no matter what it is, if it's something really like negative, even if it is really fucking something negative, like you got, say, someone who's a fucking massive racist or a fucking murderer, you know, that's still the same awareness. That's still the experiencer experiencing something. This content, the different perception is still very interesting to, you know, I can't remember where I was going with that, but yeah, it's just the stories that each of us have to tell. Anyway, I don't know. Purpose is a big thing for me and for a lot of people. What do we do with our time here? Oh fuck, here's someone about to walk past, and I'm just talking about, you know, this philosophical shit which I don't talk about in day-to-day life to people. I mean, in my own experience, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people talking about purpose. What do they do with their time on this planet? What do they do with their time as this human being? It doesn't seem like, in my own experience anyway, I'm not surrounded by people who are really questioning a lot of things, questioning everything. And it's sort of like they get into this victim mentality where it's like, this is just the way it is. I can't create anything different. Like, I'm going to for example, going to a 9-to-5 job, and I have to do that. There's no other option. You know, I've been doing that for so long now. It's you know, I don't know. Purpose. It's interesting because I've sort of say to myself, like, okay, well, I just need to do some specific things. I need to narrow my focus, forget the rest, right? Like, what am I going to do with my time? Well, what do I love to do? I love art. I love to create. I mean, quite lately, I've not had a lot of creative urges, so it has been hard to produce anything. But I know that that's genuinely what I'm interested in. And also, in like these fucking metaphysical topics, or, you know, like just like psychology and spirituality. These are interesting things to think about and talk about, even though I don't fucking talk about it with anyone, not really. And so, at the moment, I've got a few things where I'm like, I need to narrow my focus on this. And the things is money, friends, and art, creative work. So ideally, these things I would want to come together, you know, making art with friends and then earning a living from doing that, right? At the moment, I'm doing a lot of like print on demand stuff, which is basically doing graphic design and then uploading it to websites, and then the company produces the design for anyone who buys it, and you get a certain margin from that, you know, like 20% or something like that, you know. And this is not what I want to be doing, you know, but it's sort of trying to get my foot in the door for a bit of financial freedom. So then I'm not like stressing about, you know, where's my money going to come from next, and so I can focus on the more creative side of, you know, what I actually fucking enjoy. And so I'm hoping that I can earn enough with that to sort of move out of my home now, living with my parents, because I can't live there any longer. It's getting to the point where it's not the environment that I want to be around. And I love my parents, of course I do. But I mean, if I were to choose to spend my time with them every single day, I wouldn't. That may sound harsh, I don't know, but I mean, I feel like a lot of the trauma that everyone experiences is due to, a lot of it, maybe, I'm guessing here, but I think a lot of it is due to, you know, parents. You know, the parents are your main sort of authority figure in your life growing up. And so they're making a lot of the rules for you. And so with their own trauma from being victimized, they're going to victimize you in some way. They're going to, you know, they're going to act out their own trauma, which is going to traumatize you. You know, it's natural. It's like if I had a kid, there's, you know, I would know all these things that I'm afraid of, my shadow side, you know, all the things that I can't accept about myself, that would rub off onto them, you know. It's natural. It's just something that happens, and, you know. And so, yeah, sort of what I'm saying is, it feels like sometimes when I'm at home, my parents are around, it can, you know, things that things that I hear them, you know, the emotions that they have, you know, when they get angry or frustrated, or, you know, the things that they experience, and I see that can trigger something within me that is my own trauma, you know. And so it's hard, because one hand I want to sort of try and bring the unconscious into the conscious, and try and resolve these sort of traumatic issues within me, and sort of, you know, practice more love towards them. But on the other hand, I know that I don't want to be in this sort of environment anymore. I want to move on. But anyway, so that's one thing why I sort of want money. I want to move out. Friends. This is another one. I'm not around a lot of people. I hang out with my girlfriend a lot, and that's good. One thing about that is that she's not really, you know, interested in spirituality and talking about these metaphysical things, and that's fine, you know. That's just how she is, and I'm not going to be like, you gotta be fucking spiritual. There's a lot of other things that we relate to, but there are times when I am really sort of in the headspace spiritually, if you will, philosophically and psychologically, where it sort of feels like I sort of need, I don't know, I need to express this in some sort of way. And that's why doing this is good, because this is me expressing that sort of side of me, that aspect of myself. This is why I express it here, because I need to express that side. So that's, you know, I'm very grateful that she's in my life. But as for other friends, you know, I've got one friend, an old friend that I'm close to. We've been friends since we were like 4 years old. But it's sort of, we haven't spent a whole lot of time with each other, you know, in the past few years, and so we've sort of, you know, gone our own ways a bit. And now we're coming back together a bit more, but it's still sort of, it feels a bit hard to open up, and I don't know why that is. It feels a bit hard to be more authentic. But that's alright, you know. I think, you know, with time, you know, it will get better and better. There's still that connection there. It's still there. But another thing I've realized is that it's hard for me to make friends because I don't give a lot. Because I, a lot of the time, fail to see any value within me. You know, if I don't think I'm valuable, you know, in my mind I'm like, you know, as a subconscious thing, and I'm not really aware of, I don't really see any worth within me. I've got nothing to share. So how is anyone else going to see, you know, if I can't even see that in myself? You know, I had this sort of realization yesterday where I went to the skate park. So I took up skating recently, which has been fun as. So I went to the skate park. My old friend was there, and a couple of his friends. And in my mind I was like, well, this is a great opportunity, really, to make friends, isn't it? Because these are friends here. And another thing in my mind is always like, well, I want, you know, spiritual friends. I want friends who can talk about this shit. Ultimately, that's just me being picky, and I need to fucking let go of that. Like, I need to just sort of be friendly and to be interested in them as a person and what they're interested in. and be open to them asking about what I'm interested in and then speaking about what I'm interested in, you know. So it's like, oh, here's a great opportunity to make friends, right? But I failed to do it. You know, I give them my contact, you know, and, you know, a scenario happens where I can say something, but nothing comes to mind. I look them in the eye, they look at me, you know, we're smiling at something, you know. But, yeah, it's interesting. Let me just, no, oh, yeah, just make it a bit brighter. It's interesting because it's like a deep subconscious belief within me that says that I've got nothing to give. And what's interesting about this is that I then create a story in my head, which I noticed. The story is that I try, right? I make eye contact with them, give them a smile, and then I try and, you know, say something. I try and, you know, connect with them, and it doesn't work. And then I see all the other guys connecting, and I'm like, how can I connect? They're not connecting with me. And then I create this story in my head, which is like, you know, just reinforces the idea of unworthiness, where I'm like, oh, I'm shit. I'm like, they don't like me, or, you know, this sort of story, like, oh, I've always been like this. I'll never, you know, like, I've got nothing valuable to share. They're not interested in me. And what I realize is that it's not that they're not interested in me. It's that I'm not interested in me. And so how are they going to be? It's that I'm not giving anything about me. And so, you know, how are they going to get anything from me? They can't read my mind. They don't know who I am, what I'm interested in. Because what you put out, you get back, right? It's the law of exchange. What you give is what you get. And so I don't give a whole lot, and so I don't receive a lot. And sometimes I create the story myself. When that happens, I go, oh yes, I'm not good enough. No one actually likes me. I've got nothing of worth to share. But that's just reinforcing that idea, and then I'm never going to get to the point of seeing value within myself and be able to receive by giving back, if I'm making any sense here. And so it all comes down to my value. What do I have that's valuable? What do I have of any worth? What do I have that people could benefit from, people could learn from, people could just be interested in? And it's hard to see that sometimes. I don't know. Sometimes I think like, well, you know, I'm interested in talking about these fucking spiritual, metaphysical and psychological things and purpose and things. But a lot of fear of judgment comes from that. A lot of, it's hard for me to speak what I believe in. And of course, I'm interested in other things, of course. It's not just spirituality. But yeah, it's the fear that, I don't know, there's fear there. And so it's something I've got to work on. Giving back. just giving myself to people more, because what you give is what you get. So the other thing is creative work, art, music and film mainly. And it's hard because for the past few years I've been very analytical, very fucking left brain in my mind. You know, thinking about all these philosophical ideas and not being able to really use my right brain and put it into some sort of visual or audible thing. And I'm trying to get back into that. I mean, music comes a bit naturally to me these days than film. Film is a bit harder. But it's something I really want to get back into, because that's something that I've always been good at as a kid, and it's something that's just come intuitive. But now when I try to do shit like write scripts or film some sort of video, it just doesn't come naturally. There's too much left brain in there getting in the way of my right brain. I'm trying to, you know, get into my unconscious and just sort of write this shit down, or, you know, it's fucking hard. I don't know. It's hard to get into that space, into the zone. But I'm trying, and that's the best that I can do. So anyway, those are the things that I feel like I need to do for purpose. But at the same time, I realize that those things aren't going to give me fulfilling happiness. Because sometimes I go to do the work, I go to sort of, you know, try and make some art, or try and say, you know, connect with people, or try and make some money, you know, where I want to go, you know, narrowing my focus on something. And I get there, I'm just like, I don't want to do this. It's not something I want to do right now. And it's like, well, what would I rather do? And I just don't fucking know. And there's some sort of negativity within me, some sort of pain, some sort of trauma, which is stopping me from doing anything. And every now and again I have these spiritual insights, these glimpses of recognizing true happiness, where it's not about any sort of material status, you know, what art I've produced, or my identity to the world, what I look like. You know, what I find is that it's just about, you know, there's no mission. It's just about being fully present in the moment and just loving everything and everyone as yourself, because it's that realization of oneness, of being the universe in form. And from that space, from that mindset, you get happiness from other people, from other people's happiness. You make someone happy, and that makes you happy, because you realize that you are them and they are you. The awareness within you, which is actually fundamentally you, is them too. All this stuff on top of your awareness, you know, your identity, your thoughts and your emotions, and, you know, who you think you are. Behind that is the awareness, and behind another person, behind all their thoughts and, you know, their identity is that same awareness. And so you're And so I realize that when I have these glimpses, these spiritual insights, I realize that this is what happiness is. This is what I should strive towards, not to any other thing like getting money or making friends or doing art. I mean, these things are all important, but at the forefront, I should be first getting to this space of recognizing the oneness that reality is. Seeing people, seeing everyone as me and me as everyone. Seeing it as all the same. Loving your neighbor as you love yourself. But the thing is, when you make that a mission, when you make that a goal, it doesn't work, because this thing that I'm talking about is right now, it's here. And to make it a goal suggests that it's something in the future. And so you've already conceptualized it, you've already, you're already in thought, and you're going, yes, I need to get to that place. But it's right here, it's right now, and it's hard to see all the time. This is what I'm saying, I only get fucking glimpses of this. I'm talking about, oneness and seeing someone else as yourself, but I don't experience that right now. And it's fleeting glimpses. And it's very hard to fucking sustain that. But when I get it, I go, that's true happiness, just right here, right now, oneness, love, that's it. That's all I need to focus on. And I try and focus on it. I try and be mindful and present. I try and love. And it sometimes works, but it doesn't work with my control. It's something that happens. It's just, I don't surrender. Surrendering just happens, So yeah. It's interesting. I don't think I've got anything more to say about that. So yeah, this was a good chat with myself. Good chat with myself. Fucking hell. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.